Hello everybody, I hope you found me again. Don't forget, if you're watching this back later on and you don't know what times my lives start on Monday and on Wednesday, the times are in the description below. So I've done the American times. If anyone's from anywhere else and works the time out for me, our time difference, I'll gladly add that as well. And I've also done the G.M.T time. So if you're watching this back later, check out the description below as to what time my Monday and Wednesdays every week lives begin. So hello to anyone that's joining us now. It's nice to see you on board. Big welcome to you all. And as I've put in the chat, whether you're a new member of my awesome community or especially if you're a long-term member that's been with me for a long time, very much appreciate that. And I hope you're all doing well out there. Some of you, I know it's morning time for most of you. It's getting on for the next day for some of you out there. So we're all different times, but we're only one click away from each other. So that's really good to know. We've got some interesting chat for you today concerning YouTube. So I will get into that at some point, but I want to do my little regular bits as well, because I know a lot of you tune in for my regular parts as well. So first of all, I'm going to do what I usually do on the Wednesday and do my mood board behind me, and I'm just going to go through and decide which thing I feel is my mood today. We have people guessing. No, it's not that one. It's not that one. Go through them all and see which one will be today. Oh, I'm going to choose this one today, only because I want to talk to you about YouTube in the time. So this is appropriate. Nightmare. And as I'll say, I'll get to that pretty soon. You like that one? That is tonsils there. That's his tonsils. Ah, nightmare. I'm sure we've all been there. So I'm just going to pin that up. And that's the mood of the day. I've got quite a lot of those. So sometimes I'll be in the same mood, sometimes I'll be in a different mood, once you've seen. So we'll just see how we go on that. Oh dear. So, feature a lot of you asked me to do is I tell you what I'm reading. I've finally finished the third book in the series that is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. This was this one. It was quite a thick book and been a little bit busy, so I was a bit slow going through it. But when I got to, maybe about here, this much towards the end, I must say I couldn't put it down. I really wanted to see where that was going. And so towards the end, it really grabbed me personally. So yeah, overall, really good book. It's quite interesting. As I've said before, the names are Swedish, so that was a little bit troublesome to work out some of them, if they were females or males, until the text actually gave you some reference to that. So that, for me, would be the only downside of the book. As I say, that's the third book. And as I've said before, the author died after writing this book. A little bit of a conspiracy theory, which you can read about in the front of these books or just look up the author. I'm sure you can find, if you Google it, about that. So that was the third book. But then another author wrote a fourth book, so carrying on the series. Now, my friend who gave me the book said she didn't rate this book as much, and she could tell it wasn't the same author. I've just started it. I'm a little way in. So far, it's pretty good. It, for me at the moment, it's still following the characters and everything. So I will let you know as time goes on about that, how I feel about that book. So yeah, these were all donated to me. So I've got the whole series. So yeah, that's what I'm reading right now. So this is The Girl in the Spider's Web. And as I say, it's the fourth book, if you like, in the series, but it's kind of an extra one by a different author. So that's what I'm reading right now. I normally show you my cross stitch, but I showed you last week. I haven't done any more to that, so I'm not actually going to show you that today. If you want to see how that's coming on, then go back to that last one. Updates. Forgive me if I like not quite with it today. I didn't sleep at all last night, so I'm going on like all the reserves energies that I've got right now. Didn't sleep at all, not one iota. So updates. Kit, the stray cat that has decided to live with us. Long story, but we found out it definitely was a boy in the end. It went to the vets today and had his little operation, and he's just come back now. So bit the vet to shreds. It's so docile and not like feral at all. You can tell it was a pet that's been dumped. And so after the operation, and the vet was putting it back in the cage thing for us to take home, and he just picked it up. Sweet little cat like it's been, and it went for him. He had all blood down his arms, and Mike said there was like blood everywhere, really bad. And he said, I've just shut the door now to the room. The cat's going completely wild in there, and he's a brilliant vet. And he said, oh, the cat's just going really wild in there. I've just shut the door. And he said, it's so wild, I'm going to have to sedate it. So he said, no cost, because it's his fault. He said, I shouldn't have done that. So, yeah, the cat had obviously had enough of all what was going on with it. And as I say, if it was dumped, it probably was trapped before to dump it. So, yeah, it had enough. So he sedated it and then gave it the after when it was back in the cage thing to bring home. So that was that. So Kit has been done now. So we're responsible, as in making sure all our girls and boys are always done in some shape or form. Animal updates. I've just been outside and filmed some more of the toads and frogs. So that's pretty good. As you may know, I've linked below in the description to this, a video I did on toads and frogs mating in our swimming pool and just outside our swimming pool, loads of them. So do check out the video I've linked below on that. And from that, I've got lots of tadpoles. Some are toads, some are frogs. You can tell by the size, I think, actually, of those. So I've linked that below. But today I've just been out and filmed them now. They're actual proper froggies now, little mini. They're like not even that big. They're really small, but proper frogs. Some have still got that little pointy tail bit there. Some have still got that, but most of them haven't. Most of them are miniatures. Hi there, Angie. Hey, hello. Can't stay long. Want to come by and show some. Thank you very much. That's really kind of you. That's really good. As I say, everyone who comes in the chat, I do make sure you're top of my list to watch next on my what I'm going to watch next channel. So thanks for that. Appreciate it so much. If before you go you want to add something to say about what your latest video is, or what's coming up on your channel, you're very welcome to do that, Angie. So if you want to just type a little something if you've got to go, then do that and people will see it and hop over to your channel if they don't know your channel. So you're very welcome to type something in. So yeah, they're little tiny frogs and toads now. As I say, most of them haven't even got that little tail stump left. So I filmed another update. I've got 3 more little updates on those, so you'll see the progression of them. And then I'm like, I've read up on toads and frogs, and I know that it's okay that they can stay in the water, the frogs, all the time. But I'm like, around the edge, they want to get out. And the bit I filmed today, they're all piled up on top of each other up the side of the swimming pool. We can't clean it out because obviously I don't want to disturb them. We've got all green in the pool now. It's quite disgusting, but I want to leave it till they're big enough to go. But I took Blue's advice. I've got a bit of bamboo, because we grow bamboo here, really long, thick bit. So I thought, well, they can climb out if they need to. No, not interested in that. They want to stay around the edge of the pool. And then I said to Mike, oh, have you got a big bit of plastic or something we can lean up? And I found some, I suppose it's some old guttering. So I've laid that out. They swim up to it, start to go up to it where the water's in the bottom part of it, and they start to go up, and they're like, no thanks, and off they go again. So that didn't work. And then I said to him, have you got any old polystyrene? Because obviously that will float around, because they've got no energy to jump up yet onto anything. So I thought with that they can sort of hang onto the bobbly sides and then climb on like that. So he found one big bit and he broke it into 2 and floated around. No, they weren't interested in that. So I literally got the big bit of bamboo, pressed the polystyrene down underneath a whole load of them. They all sort of flopped on top with the buoyancy. They came back up. And so for all the ones on it, just sitting there, and they've been about half an hour just sitting on it. Okay, they look like tiny little stones. They're so small. So I'm like, well, should they now be back in the water? So I don't know. We have lots of birds here, so they might swoop down and get those ones. I don't know. I don't know what's best. Oh, and by the way, I've got a link below as well. Some people think they might have tadpoles in their swimming pool or pond or whatever you've got, but it could be mosquito larvae. And I think last year, or even the year before, I did a video on it to tell the difference, how straight away you can tell the difference, because we didn't get frog spawn. I know normally you think, oh, frog spawn, so you'd know. We didn't see any frog spawn at all. And in my video, I've linked below about toads and frogs, the differences between them. I actually say how toad spawn is actually one long line of like the jelly. And then you see the black spawn in a line going along with little gaps between. But as I say, we didn't get either frog or toad frog spawn. So first of all, we saw the little black bits that you think, oh, they're tadpoles. But as I say, do check, and I'll show you in one of the videos below how you can see straight away, how you know if it's like the first little bit of tadpoles or mosquito, which is quite important. And I've said before, here we have, because we're rural, I don't know if they do it in towns here, but because we're rural, we get a man, I call him the water man. He comes round at the moment once every 2 weeks, because we're in summer, and he goes round and he checks your irrigation tanks and any water areas you've got. And he always says to me, have you got anything in your pool, or do you want it treated? And it's, I must ask him what it actually is. It's not actual chemicals. It looks like little tiny fish food, polystyrene-y, but a little bit brown. And he just scatters it. And he said it's not harmful, because when I first had the tadpoles, I said, oh, I want those. He said it doesn't harm them. It's something to do with the mosquitoes, how they need to break the surface tension of the water. But even the tadpoles and frogs doesn't harm them. He said if you've got a bird goes in and drinks the water, it doesn't harm them. It only does something to the mosquitoes because of the surface tension of the water. Angie said, I'm actually going to be interviewed by another channel here in 20 minutes. Oh, be posted on my channel soon. That sounds cute. I need to watch it. Thanks, Angie. You can't put a link to the channel. Do you want to put the name of the channel, Angie? if it's a channel that is appropriate. I'm sure it's fine. Yeah, put the channel. Why not, Angie? Well, hopefully it's someone that watches me. If not, let them know that I said you could put their channel name. So yeah, I'm sure if anyone wants to pop over, they can go over and check it out live. So it's nice to be in the live because you can actually talk and chat and write in the comments, isn't it? So do you know what you're chatting about, Angie, or is it just random? Is it a subject? So what else? I think that's all the animal chat. Yeah, I haven't been down to the stables since way before I was first ill. So months. I haven't been down for months. I just not going down there really. Not going down there to help. Mike's just gone down now because they've got a delivery down there. So he's going to supervise the delivery and go and feed the horses. I just don't go down there anymore. I don't know why. Obviously I couldn't walk for a long time and didn't want to do anything like that. But I'll probably get back down at some point. Oh, there's a horse down there that's about to have a foal. I think the end of this month or beginning of next month. I think no, the end of this month definitely, because we've got someone that goes to those stables and they live right over the other side in the city, in our capital, and they want to be here for the birth. So they said if they can stay with us over sort of the few days that they're hoping it will give birth, because they want to see it give birth. So yeah, so I know it's before the first week of June because we've got our workaways coming then. That's all that. Oh, okay. Update on the nuts. If you were in my chat on Monday, let me just grab them so I can show you. I'm over with my seeds to sow still. Got a few more seeds to do. If you're on my live on Monday, and anyone who's watching, you're on my live on Monday, I showed these nuts and I'm explaining how I've grown a tree from them, only a short tree. I think it was in my last video, possibly. So I've grown this nut tree from these. And I was saying on Monday about how I grew it, what I do with these. And then I asked what it was, what type of nut. And I said, because a long time ago, I first found these nuts, maybe a couple of years ago. And I said on YouTube, does anyone know what they are? Because I had no clue. I'm not big on nuts. I don't really know names of nuts. And I got a whole lot of answers saying hazelnut. Now, at the time, I know there's different varieties of things, but to me, all I knew about hazelnut was the small round ones that you typically see squirrels in pictures having a little round nut. So I'm like, okay, there's so many people said it's hazelnut. It must be hazelnut. And you plant them like this. You don't break them open and use the centre. So that's fine. And I looked up hazelnut on YouTube and people were showing very similar to this. And the tree, the leaves look the same. Okay, but as I say, to me, it wasn't what I considered a hazelnut. But I know nothing much about nuts. So I showed this yesterday and explained all what I've just said. And everyone in the chat, on Monday, everyone in the chat on Monday said it's more like a pecan. Now, I don't know what a pecan looks like on the outside at all, but I thought that was a white ovally. Oh no, that's cashew, the white ovally, isn't it? So I said, I'll tell you what, guys, I'm going to open it and show you what it's like inside so you can confirm. And they all said, yes, it's definitely pecan, and somebody makes things with the nuts and everything. So it's great. Okay, so now it's pecan. And I opened it up and I said, oh, it was hard to show because as I opened it up, the inside nut was breaking up. But I said, it's crumbled in my hands. But to me, it looks like the inside of a walnut. And I call that like a brain. You know, that sort of look, all bumpy and all over the place. I said, okay, that's a walnut inside. But that's not to me this. what a walnut looks like. A walnut to me is quite a decent size round nut. It's quite big and a little bit knobbly, a very pale tanny colour. So to me, that's a walnut. And everyone's like, no, it's a pecan. Okay, that's great. Then the waterman was due today. And I said to him, what is this nut? And he says, Carithi. Carithi, Carithi, Carithi. Now that's very similar to coconut. But he wasn't saying coconut, but that's very similar to how you say coconut. I was like, are they saying because it looks like a coconut? And obviously he could only tell me in Greek or Cypriot what it was. So I came back and I got my dictionary out and it says Carithi is walnut. This saga is ridiculous. As I say, the inside, to me, yes, it's walnut. But to me, the outside isn't walnut. And I said, where do these grow, these trees? Because there's, as I say, I've grown a little tree and I've grown one before. And there's no trees of the leaves. I know they get really huge, like big oak trees or whatever. And I said, where did these trees grow round here? Or nowhere around here. I said, well, I didn't think so. We've got pine forest above us and we've got the coast below us. So it's not like a tree area kind of thing. It's pines and that kind of tree. So he said, well, obviously it's possible. He said the big birds bring them. It's the owls. The owls bring them and bring them from somewhere. And they do fly miles. So they bring them and drop them, and there are some owls settled around our land, so yeah, they're bringing them back and keep dropping them. I keep finding them. I've got so many now, and they do taste nice. I suppose like a walnut. So yeah, he said, so it's either they've gone into the ground and grown with the birds dropping them and they travel for miles, or like I do, someone's grown them and someone somewhere around here might have them. But he said, I've not seen any of the trees. He said that great big trees, you'd see them. So the saga continues. But in Greek, he is 100% certain that it's a Greek walnut. Oh dear. So that's that funny saga. Oh dear. Oh, so I thought I'd update you on that. Oh dear. Yeah, no more animal news. You've seen the video. We had a black whip snake in the garden. They're actually called the farmer's friends, so they actually go and eat any bad bugs and vermin, and they will actually attack the highly venomous snake. So they're a good thing to have, obviously. What else? Oh, in the garden, Project Tomato. Now it's a way because I'm growing so many tomatoes, it's a way that I can't keep staking every single tomato. It's getting ridiculous. So it's a way I'm doing no staking. And you'll see, I've done a video on it. I've yet to edit it, but I've actually filmed it. And for me, I use what I've got. And for me, I think it took a little time to do it, but that's quicker than keep going and staking it every tomato and keep tying it up, I think, for me. And it's a bit hard on my hands doing it, but yeah, I think it's a good idea. I've seen similar ideas, but I haven't seen it for tomatoes yet, but perhaps someone's done it. It's not new, but it's a bit different how I've done it, I think. So we'll see how that goes. So I've been working on Project Tomato. I've just spent all morning shredding paper. We reuse everything, so any paper we got, old envelopes, backs of shopping list, anything at all, we always use the backs again just for writing some notes. Or like I've got today, I've got an old envelope with some notes of what I want to talk about. And oh yeah, look, an old bit of card that had envelopes in. So I reused the other side, and then shred them and use them either as mulch, or indeed I use them in my raised beds, anything like that. So they get reused 2 more times at least. Obviously in the winter we might use them to start the fire. We just have 1 log fire, and that's all we have for the whole house here. So that's that. Just sharing with you, I've just posted on my other channel. My other channel is linked below in case you haven't found it. It's Tranquillity Through Life's Natural Beauty. And on that video that I've just posted there, I've actually got my nan, or grandma, my nan's handwritten autobiography. She was born in 1918, and I've got the photocopy of it that she handwrote, and I'm reading it out in small parts. So it's going to be a long series, but I don't want to do too much in one go. So I've just posted that. So if you're interested in that, some things are funny, some things are sad, but it's an insight to kind of life from 1900. She was obviously in England. She was born in Kensington in London, which is quite high society, especially in those days. So yeah, if you're interested in that, Downtown Abbey and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's nice how she puts things about they had a girl to come and work for them. Well, in those days, you will know that's like they would be servants and maids and that kind of thing. Anyway, if you're interested in that, go and have a look at that. That's something I think might be really interesting for some of you out there, if you would like to know how England was from 1918 when she was born, and how life was, and all sorts of things are coming up in her story. So I just read it exactly how she's written it, and I put up pictures of her, and when she talks about her mum, my great grandma, I've got pictures of her in it and that kind of thing. And you'll see some pictures of me pop in there, obviously, because I'm her granddaughter. So yeah, there's that as well. I just thought I'd mention that because I know some of you might not have found my other channel yet. So let's just pop it in here as well in the chat, just in case you're watching that. Tranquillity Through Life's Natural Beauty. And as I say, it's a channel for everybody. So there's a little bit of homesteading in there. There's down the stables where I help out. The next one on that channel is actually all the animals that are down at the stables, because it's not just horses. There's all sorts of animals down there. So check that out next week. That channel I only post on every Wednesday. So do check out that every Wednesday. Whereas this channel I post every Wednesday and then Friday or Saturday. I was thinking about posting on Mondays as well, but I thought, well, I've got the live on Monday and I've got the live on Wednesday. So I don't want to overwhelm you with too much going on. But let's see how that goes. And next week on this channel, next video on this channel, I've got where I was transplanting my aubergines I've grown. Hi there, how are you? Thanks for joining me. It's Katie, isn't it? And I wasn't sure if you was IE or Y, so let me know, Katie, which it is. I've been watching your, I saw Charlie today. I bet Charlie. I always wanted a pot-belly pig. Yeah, all go and look at Mayfield Lodge. Katie. Oh, I thought you said Katie. Oh, I'll go write that down. I thought you said Katie. Oh, I'm glad I asked now. Yes, I've got Katie. Beg your pardon. I'm so glad I asked. Yeah, Katie. He's a good boy. Oh, it is pronounced Katie. Okay. Oh dear. that's why then. It sounds like you're saying Katie. Right, okay, got it. Yeah, the little donkeys. Yeah, all go and look at Mayfield Ranch if you like animals. I didn't realise you were quite a new channel, actually. Yeah, so, because I sort of watch whatever the latest one is first. And then I like to go back near the beginning, particularly if someone set something up or moved, like I did move to a new location. And I like to just go and sort of see that journey. But then I'm like, hold on, I'm not up to scratch with what people are talking about you're doing now. So I always jump around. You'll see me, I jump around your channel. I'm enjoying your videos. Thanks for the support. I support everybody. I try to. Try not to miss anybody out. It happens. That's why I always say, if you're either in a chat or put a comment, I always prioritize those people to watch next. So, and it also reminds me, there's some channels I'm like, oh goodness, yeah, I haven't seen their videos for a while. I don't use that little thing down the side with the blue dots. I just type in channel names and watch them. So yeah, if I don't come on for a bit, just say hello, and I'm like, oh, prioritize. Yeah, Katie's got 4 donkeys, 2 geese. Now, your geese look very tame. I've heard people have problems, but then they can be like miniature dogs. I guess they're like loyal, aren't they? They're guards to the owners, and then can get. Are they okay with other people? They do look sweet. Yeah, they were lovely. And I'm going to enjoy your videos, I think. And the little red buildings I put in the comments. I know you get those red and white barns a lot in America, or the southern, I'm guessing, those sort of areas. But yeah, really pretty. Yeah, basically, if you don't know, I really feel I'm an accidental homesteader. I never meant to. I just came to Cyprus to rest and retire. And oh, good with people. They look really sweet. And when we bought this property, obviously it's big. It's got loads of olive trees. There's 2 olive groves and then other olives randomly around. And obviously we had to learn how to deal with those, which is quite easy. If I ever bought somewhere again, I would have somewhere with an olive grove, definitely. It's quite easy, really. Yeah, so then I thought, oh, I think we had some melons or something. I said, oh, I'm going to put those seeds in the ground. There was one little flower bed here, so I thought I'll grow there. And then I wanted to grow a few more, and Mike said, oh, growing tyres, because we're on a mountainside, so you can't really down very much. And it just progressed from there, and I enjoy it. And luckily, with all COVID and all that, it's a case of thank goodness we did, because that's what we live off of, the food that we grow. So yeah, I'm definitely the accidental homesteader. And if anyone was to change their channel name, what would you change it to? And if you don't have a channel, I'd be interested in the comments below or in the chat if you're watching, to say if you had to change your channel name, what would it be? Particularly if you've been doing a channel for a long time. Sometimes you think, I wouldn't say accidental homesteader as my channel name, because as you know, my channel is a bit more diverse. It is about Cyprus and things as well. But yeah, the accidental homesteader, I think that's quite a cool title. Someone's going to use that now. Yeah, so think on, and as I say, if you're watching this back particularly later as well, I'd really like to know, or if you can just think of a cool title for a YouTube channel, that'd be pretty good. I don't know if they do it in other countries, but in England it's well known that hairdressers come up with funny names for hairdressing salons. They're always like clever names, really corny, cheesy. So yeah. What else? I think I've done all that. Oh, I was going to tell you about my little YouTube situation. I'll start from the beginning, but keep it brief, because new people won't know any of it. And it just reminds you, because this story's been going on since I started YouTube, and I've talked about it, whatever part or situation, as it progressed in different videos and chats and whatever. So let's put the whole story, very short, here now, and I'll tell you where we're up to on it. So basically, when I started YouTube, when you start, you find your country and it says if you can be monetarized in your country or not. Probably some of you don't even see that because, let's say America, Australia, you are automatically, so maybe that page didn't come up for you. But it says Cyprus cannot be monetarized. Fine, I just wanted to share my life and I got on with it. There's quite a lot of channels that can't be monetarized, and looking at them, they were more, how can we say, the countries, obscure countries, let's say, and countries that are different in many ways, or could be countries that are maybe dictatorship type countries. It could be political reasons why the countries aren't there. But if you looked at the list, you'd be like, yeah, I get why that one, yeah, I get that. But why Cyprus? Well, I don't want to go into it now, but if you know Cyprus and the north of Cyprus, it's a difficult situation there, and we are not to do with that situation, and sometimes we're penalised because of the north, let's say, and let's leave it there. If you want to know more about that, look up your history, but make sure it's from the right source because there's different versions. Anyway, so I contacted YouTube and I said, I'm assuming, oh, let me just say this as well. If you put in Cyprus or let's say when you get a new app, like I do geocaching, if you go on one of these app type things where it pinpoints your location, we never get our location pinpointed in Cyprus. We get pinpointed into another country of Turkey. And I mean another country across the sea, another country, Turkey. And this happens all the time. Any app that says they pinpoint you, and even to this day, Google puts our time wrong. You know, you've got your time in Google. Our time is wrong. Our time is Turkey. We are not Turkey. We are Cyprus. We are one island called Cyprus. It's a different country from Turkey. Anyway, so I contacted YouTube, and basically, long story short, I said, I'm assuming that it says we're not monetarized because of political reasons. And I understand you can't really verify that, but it's the only reason I can think of. And let me tell you, we're in the south of Cyprus and there's no issue. We're part of the EU, no issues here. Well, as I say, long story short, it took a long time and a lot of hard work from me to get Cyprus monetarized. Now, there are a few, I say YouTubers, as far as I'm concerned, they're not this sort of YouTuber. They're either just put out loads of shorts to make money, or they're like a gaming sort of channel, those type of things, different from what we call this type of community channel, let's say. And I'm thinking, well, how are they all monetized? And they're big. They're not like, as I say, like gaming channels and that kind of thing. Big channels. So how are they being monetarized when Cyprus wasn't monetarized? Well, it turns out, after a lot of investigation on my side, they actually put addresses of, they live in different countries. So they're actually not doing it officially. They're putting another country and saying they live there. Their videos just happen to come from Cyprus. Okay, so I contact them. I say, obviously, you can't really deny me being monetarized because you're giving money to other people making YouTube videos in Cyprus, and you're penalizing me because I'm telling the truth. I live in Cyprus and you're not paying me, but you're paying all these other people who might be sort of in another area of Cyprus, but you're monetizing those. Hi there, Gypsy and the Manila Gorilla. Hey. Where are we? Oh, super good. Boy thinks he runs the place. So that was part one of the situation, which if you're a long-term viewer, you know that they said Cyprus couldn't be monetarised, and after a lot of hard work from me, Cyprus can be monetarised. Now, the next thing they did was said, we have to send you a PIN number to, I think that was for AdSense, I can't remember. So we'll send you a PIN number. So I sent the address. Now, as you probably all know, we're extremely remote and rural here. There's no such thing as road names anywhere remotely near us. There's no house numbers, nothing. And I live in an abandoned village, which is not recognised on maps. So you won't see my village name on maps unless you see very old ancient ones when this village existed. It's a ghost town, as they call it, or an abandoned village. So obviously we have to have a P.O Box, and that's over an hour away, our P.O Box. So we have to have that. And there's a lot of people live rural. I would say at least a third of Cyprus is rural residents, whether it be mountain villages or whatever else. So I sent them my P.O Box, and they said we can't use P.O Box. So I said, I understand that. This is why we can't get a lot of stuff from abroad sent for companies or shopping or everything like that, because they won't deliver to a P.O Box. So I said, I completely understand that and the reason for that, but that is our address. There is no address. We have plot number and the name of our village, but as I said to you, it's not a recognised name of the village anymore, and you won't get post up here. Let me tell you, you don't even get taxis driving up here. They will not drive up the mountain road. So they said, well, okay, it took a lot of me sending them information. I can't remember what I sent them, but I've got a letter from our municipality to say, yes, this is the only address. I've got my bank that finally accepted that. They actually come out a bank to see where you live if you say you haven't got an address and prove you live there. Because again, even the banks here won't accept a P.O Box, but they send an inspector out if you say, well, I am rural. They come, they don't tell you they're coming, they just turn up and check you're actually living there. So there was that. Was there something before that? Oh, yes, I wanted to say about the adverts. YouTube does a thing, they've done it for over a year now, where if you get 100 subscribers, not 1,000 like it used to be, 100, in their policy, if you actually do read their policies, which I'm sure many people don't, in their policy it says that from 100 subscribers, Google or AdSense are allowed to now put adverts on your videos. And also, when you get to the point that you can be monetarised and you say, I don't want to be monetarised, they will still put adverts on your channel and take all the money rather than share it with you, because you say, I don't want adverts. I don't want to be monetarised. So there can still be adverts on your channel even if you're not monetarised, which is why a lot of people you'll hear suddenly turn around and say, well, I might as well take the money then. Now, they said I reached the threshold that I could be monetarised, and I had this PIN number. They finally sent it. And it's been a long saga, as a lot of you will see. I don't see adverts. We've got an ad blocker that's free, so I never see adverts on any channel. And did you know, if you see an advert on, let's say, my channel, someone else will watch the same video and they get different adverts. They, you know how they look at different analytics, and they say, right, you're a man, so we're going to show you that video. You're a schoolgirl, so you're going to see this sort of video. So you're not all seeing the same adverts, just to say that. So they said, right, you've reached the threshold now, so you can have adverts and be paid for them. Great. I always hold my breath because there's always something else. I thought there was something else in between. What was an issue? Anyway, so they said I could now have adverts. Then, I don't know if you all know the workings of it. When you can have adverts, there's a place you can go on YouTube, AdSense, whatever, and you can actually mark what type of adverts you do and don't want. So let's say religious adverts. You can just say the whole lot of religious adverts I don't want. Or political adverts, you can tick the box. Or gambling adverts. So you can just mark them, I don't want any of those sort of adverts on my channel. Or you can go in those categories. Let's say you don't mind holiday adverts, holiday destinations, but you don't like a certain company, so you don't want to promote them. You can actually go and fine tune it right down to which company name you don't want. So you can really spend time on it. And obviously you want to cut out sexual content type adverts, or for me, I don't want smoking adverts, those kind of things. So I went to where I know this is, and I know where it is, and I went there. That actual button on the whole section where I can say what adverts I want or don't want does not exist for me. Now that's rather interesting. And I also went in and asked them, where's this button? Oh, it's there between this one and this one. And where that is, there is like, it's like there's a button missing. There's a space of blankness, nothing. And they don't come back to me as to, well, it is there, that's where it is. Well, it isn't there. You could try screenshotting them, but so if there's an advert you don't like, you need to complain to AdSense or Google, but not because of my channel. I can't do anything about it. So that's quite annoying. And those big time YouTubers that are totally there for the money, those that know about this, what you can tick, the ones that most of us would tick and say we don't want those type of adverts, they're actually your high paying adverts because not many people want them. So if you're someone out there who doesn't care what people see, and they've got to be non-skippable, because if you don't know about adverts, you've got choices of if they're skippable adverts, non-skippable adverts, and how many adverts you have within your video. So you can do a beginning one, an end one. You can say how many in between, but it has to be over 10 minutes. So if you see videos with lots of filler, it could well be because they want a certain amount of adverts in. So anyone who says they've got no say in adverts or how many, yes, you have. You have total say, not me. I can't get in there, but you have total say as to what videos you have, how long they are, and how many you have. And you can even, you have the option of where you put them. So if you say I want 3 in the middle of the video, you can actually do like a cut, like a bookmark, and that's where they put them in. Or you can say, oh, as many as you like. Or you can say 3 within the video, wherever you like. So it takes time to sort it out. But so that's about that. So that's really up to date. And then the next thing is I finally got it that I can get my first payout. And now they're saying, we can't pay you because you need to fill in the American tax form. Now, I can't make head or tail of it because it's terms on it that I've never heard of before. So, bless him, Mike did his very best with it. There is nowhere I can go that says I don't earn any money at all. I live in Cyprus, and here, to have a tax number, you have to be earning a certain amount of money, which I will never reach. And as soon as you apply for the tax number in Cyprus, from that moment, you have to pay regularly a minimum amount of tax regardless. So if you say, oh, but I'm on holiday for 2 weeks, doesn't matter. Self-employment in England is very different to self-employment in Cyprus. In England, you keep your own accounts if you're self-employed, and when you're self-employed, you can say, I didn't work that week, I was on 2 weeks holiday, or I had expenses of X, Y, and Z, and all that. In Cyprus, when you work for self-employed or any job, but I'm talking about self-employed, they say, what's your job? And you say, car mechanic. I'm self-employed. They get out the Book of Doom, I like to call it. They open it up, car mechanic. And you can't say anything else. Car mechanic. A good car mechanic should earn at least blah, blah a month. So therefore, your minimum payment per month, regardless of whether you work, don't work, or anything, once you register, this is the amount you now have to pay per month. And you don't take holiday pay or anything like that. And if you say, well, hold on a minute, I'm just starting, I think you got a month's grace. It wasn't very long. I think you get a month's grace self-employed. But then if you say, well, hold on, we haven't got much business and all that, if you keep saying, I can't pay, I haven't got that amount, they're like, well, you're not very good then, because in Cyprus you have to be fully qualified to do any type of job. You can't just go, oh, I'm going to be a decorator. You have to be qualified to do it. So therefore you have a reputation. You're not like an odd job man decorator. It doesn't compute. So they say, well, if you can't earn that amount, you're obviously not very good then. Either stop work. It is cheaper not to work sometimes. And so either stop work, and here you get, if you don't work, unemployment benefit. Is it 6 months, Mike? It's not that long, is it? 3 months? You only get for a very short time, and it really is real low pay just to eat and everything else. Hello, Twinbrook Acres. Nice to see you again. How are you doing there? Let me know how you're doing. Oops. What was I say? Yeah, so self-employment here, if you're out of work, you only get, I think, it's maximum of 3 months payment, and it's very low payment. And then if you can't get work, it's to make you go and find more work regardless. So basically, the long and short of that is that YouTube wants me to fill in this tax, get a tax number. And the only way I can do it is to start paying tax from the day I ask for that tax number. A minimum amount, as I say, it's high. I can't remember. What do you know what it is, Mike? No, you can't remember, but it's a lot of money. It's like you're working, you're not just playing around. And unless YouTube wants to pay me that minimum amount without fail, which obviously they're not going to do. So I got round that eventually. Luckily, I have a lot of input of law and rights and all the rest of it. I'm very okay with that from my past. We filled in this form as best we can. You have to say it's all right. We don't know if it's right, we don't understand it. And as I say, there's no way you can just go and talk to someone and say, look, this is the situation. They don't want to know, because there's some treaty with Cyprus of payment of tax, or I don't know what it is. So, hi B, you made it. Lovely. You have to play it back, B, to see what you wanted to find out about. So finally, we got this form filled in as best we can. Then I get an email back. sorry, still can't pay you. I'm kind of expecting never to be paid, so still can't pay you. Your tax information is different from what we already have on you. Well, that's a lie, because there is no tax information on me. So I think that kind of might just be to do with, you know, how a lot of places sell your information and they want me to add more things. There's nothing to add. And they're saying put in more information, put in your driver's license. I don't have. Put in your passport information. I don't have. I think it's a scam to just get all your information. Well, I don't have those things. So then I get an email. You need to then send us some. Oh, you're not the person that applied. I am. It's only me. We've got different information, so you need to send some form of ID, and it lists what you need. Well, some of the things are what I've just said, and the only one I can send is what was listed. Was it said something about government papers or government ID, that kind of thing. Well, they're not going to accept it pretty much because it's in Greek and it's not like a passport or something people know. I've sent that and they still say, well, that doesn't match. Well, what doesn't it match? That's what I'm saying you. Doesn't match what? This is me. I like my title of this live. This is me, whoever that is. So that doesn't match. And now they're coming back again. Yeah, well, it's Google. It's Google. That's the biggest. No, I was going to say the biggest people of all time for selling your info. No, it's Fastbook. Fastbook. I know people working Fastbook. Oh my God, they got more people selling your information and doing facial recognition than they have actually working for Fastbook itself. Yeah, so now they've come back again. Oh, sorry, we still can't pay you, and your money's sitting here. What they want now? Oh, we see you're using the P.O Box as your address. Rewind to back to the beginning of how I got over that with them before. So I'm going to send everything I said before when they sent me the PIN number to my P.O Box, which was unacceptable. So it just takes time and effort, and I just know there's going to be something else. So I'm going to send them my bank address, which accepts my P.O Box as my address, because that's all we've got. Oh, thanks, Katie. Thank you. I'm coming back to see those donkeys. So I'm sending the bank, which, as I mentioned earlier, banks do not accept a P.O Box as an address, and we've got round that my bank now does. So that I've got the letter from the municipality to say this is a very rural area and this is acceptable. There is no other way of having an address in this area. Mike's got a big overhead. It's not a drone picture. This is pre-drone days when we went up. Mike flew over our house in the plane, and we got a shot of that of our house with nothing around us, which you may well have seen in some of my intros. Something else, I'm sure. But everything that kind of states this is rural, this is our address. So that's the update. So sorry if you see adverts. I'm not getting paid for them. I think they've been on quite a while, as I say. They now say from 100 videos, or people who say, I don't want to be monetized, they will still put adverts on. And as I say, you won't see your own adverts because everyone sees different adverts from that same video. So unless Gorilla actually told me some adverts, because I have said in the past, if you see videos, I'm interested to know what they are, because as I say, I haven't got that button that I can stop what I would deem bad and adult video adverts and things. As I say, don't do smoking or anything like that. So I thought I'd update you. I've always said I'll be very open and honest, and I will tell you the day I get any money. I've got a couple of super chats sitting there. Can't get those. Now, super chats, you don't get paid out on those until your very first AdSense payment. So although I've got those, they're banked. So if they never pay me, then I'm going to contact the people who sent me those and they can ask for their money back, basically. But fingers crossed, because it will put food on the table. I mean, it's not a lot of money. I've got the minimum payout, and that changes in different countries. I'm thinking in America, you have to make $100 before you get paid out, and then it's everything after the 100. So you need more than $100 before they pay you. Here it's, I think it works out something like 73 euros, I think they said, or 70, and I've just gone over the threshold. So I think it's 73 something is what I'm due to be paid. And as I say, I've got no income, zero, me nothing. So that would really help. There's no benefits in Cyprus or anything like that for me because I'm Cypriot. So I don't get any help or anything like that. Maybe I'll get paid. I mean, what can they say? My next step is, if they say the address thing still, I'm going to go back to what I said right at the beginning, that they're paying people who live in Cyprus full time. They are paying them, and the reason they're paying them is they use addresses in other countries. It's got to be family. It's got to be someone who says, oh, that's their address. And I won't do things wrong. I don't do things wrong, which is why I'm quite stickler. If someone does something wrong, I will say. I will say. I know that upsets people, but I'm quite a stickler for doing the right thing and fair play. That's what I say, fair play. So, yeah. And funny enough, because I now get paid, I've never been paid, I have now been given the, what do they call it, super thanks. Now, this used to be called the applause button. And on my other channel, Tranquillity Through Life's Natural Beauty, I did a video about it because I do some little YouTube help videos because I've got a hidden there. So I did about that. Now, this is very similar to that. And under my videos, I think they have to be 10 minutes long for them to put it on. There's a heart you'll see on lots of channels. It's any big channels or up and coming sort of popular channels, if you like, they give it to. And along the bottom of your video where you've got save to watch later and all that, make it big screen, full screen, all those buttons. Underneath it's got, I think it's a heart, and possibly it's got a dollar sign in it and says thanks over the top. And same as the old applause button, what it is, it's supposed to be while you're watching, let's say, one of my videos, and you get to bit and you go, oh, that's really lovely, I like that. You press that while you're watching the video, and then it comes up. I did write the amounts down because I was going to make a video on it for you. You press the heart and then it comes up. You can pay, I think it's a choice of $2 you can press, $5, now I'm guessing $10, $20, and it's either $50 or $100. I can't remember. I wrote it down, but it's about 5 options. It definitely starts at $2. Now I think it's 5, 10, and then it's either 50 and then 100, I'm guessing. And you press those, and I think it then brings up the option for you to pay PayPal or whatever else. And by the way, I've got my PayPal below because that really is the easiest way. If you do send me help at all, I can access that instantly. I've got a GoFundMe thing, but that's a little bit harder to draw out of that. So if you do any time want to do something rather than doing that thanks, I think PayPal takes far less than YouTube does, but anything's a help anyway. And my address is always under my live chats, as is my other channel. And today I've put in the bottom links to videos I talk about at the beginning. So if you play this back, there's chats there, videos for you to watch there. So I think that's enough for today. I think I'll do some jokes. I always do jokes, so I'll just finish with some jokes today, because I know a lot of you are here for the jokes. If you've got anything to add, always add in the comments. And don't forget, if you put a comment below after the video's finished, I know to come and remember to watch your channel, because you are my priority. You awesome folk. So let's have a few jokes to finish with. An old man went to the doctor, complaining that his wife could barely hear him. The doctor suggested a test to find out the extent of the problem. Stand far behind her and ask her a question, and then slowly move up and see how far away you are when she first responds. The man went home and found his wife preparing supper. He stood 20 feet away. "Honey, what's for dinner?" After receiving no response, he moved nearer to 15 feet away and asked again. With no response, he moved nearer to only 10 feet away. He asked again, and still no response. Finally, he was 5 feet away. "Honey, what's for dinner?" She replied, "For the 4th time, it's lasagna." Did you like that one? Do you want another? Five-year-old Bob wanted a box of animal-shaped biscuits. His mother handed him a box of them. 45 minutes later, his mother returned to see the animal biscuits all over the table. "Why are you just looking at them, Bob?" "Well," said Bob, "it says on the box not to eat them if the seal was broken. I've looked at all the animals. I can't find any seals." Oh dear. We want some more jokes. Let's do three more jokes, and then we'll call it a day. So I've got to go and have my dinner. It's 6:30. On her 6th birthday, Judy got a goldfish. She insisted its name was Sparingly. "How do you know?" her mum asked. "Look," she said, "the fish food says feed sparingly 2 times a day." Second to last one, penultimate. Working at a nursery school one winter, the children kept going out to play after lunch when it was snowing. As they went to collect their coats and boots, one child cried she had the wrong boots. She insisted the ones in her place were someone else's. "No, they're yours," said the teacher. "No," she said, "mine had snow on them." Last joke for today. Have you heard about the new restaurant called Karma? There's no menu. You just get what you deserve. And I'll leave you today with a life quote. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up if you've liked what you've heard. Life quote for today. The water of life begins with just one single drop of rain. So until next time, guys, Meraki.